Welcome to Swinger University, your horizontal enrichment program. Bringing you an educational podcast about swinging. Here are your hosts, Ed and Phoebe.
Hi, this is Ed.
And this is Phoebe.
Today we're talking about our experience at a house party known for swinger cliques and how we broke into them. Not the party or the house, but into the clique. We also discuss consent and reveal how we've hit a new level of comfort in the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got back from PCAPP. We had a great weekend. We met amazing people.
PCAPP, Palm Screams. Ooh, that's a good one.
Palm Screams, yeah.
Actually, it was. There was a lot of screaming going on.
There's a fair amount of noise.
Palm Screams.
It was
so good.
So much fun. So much fun to meet all of these great people, not only the podcasters, but the listeners and the fans. And it was fun to kind of connect with people who listen to us and we don't ever get to see face to face. I mean,
yeah,
we're literally sitting in our second bedroom recording this right now.
Yes, but with the swinger wear hanging.
Yeah. I see Phoebe's
on my movable rack
pop art
outfit
sitting here.
An article from the Two Hot Wives, their lingerie swap. I have an article from there hanging up.
Yep.
I have this thing, whatever, glow night, flow
some
night.
Glow bracelets. Oh, and some rubber ducks, which rained down upon us from the pool.
There'll be a picture of that in Twitter.
Yeah, we're going to post some fun pictures from that. But I really wanted to thank everybody who was there. You made it a very special weekend. We truly felt like we got to connect with everybody that we actually interacted with. But there were a few people who we had one-on-one conversations with, and some pretty deep conversations with those individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a fantastic connection. And we felt like we actually kind of helped some people get through some stuff, which was super cool for us.
Yeah, I was really honored that they really trusted us to just bare their soul. It was very special, and I get it. I mean, you feel like you're so alone sometimes in this journey. You can't really read about it anywhere. You can more
you
now.
Can't talk to your friends about it.
You can't
talk to your family about it. So who do you talk to about it? Except
and you don't
want to
just pick anybody out at a party or an event because they're there to have a good time, not some deep conversation.
Right.
It's just, I get it. So I felt very honored. Yeah, it was good.
And there were so many sexy people there too. Not just nice to talk to, but nice to look at.
Yes.
There was
and touch and rub and squeeze and kiss.
Lots of fun. So that's fantastic. And we will absolutely go back again, even if we're just participants and not panelists.
Yeah.
That'll be awesome.
It'll be better. I'll be less in work mode.
Yeah. And we want to throw a special shout out to Cowboy and Muffin. Thank you for your Patreon support, and Humboldt Snoopy for yours. And it was nice meeting both of you guys at PCAPP.
Yes.
Had some great conversations and some fun kind of special connections with you guys, which was fun.
Sweet, sweet people. Love you guys. All right. Here's the scene. We're getting into it. This was a huge house party. This is a house party in our area that throws a house party at least once a month. And they do it as a business, so it is a large house party. They do put a cap on it of what, 100 people?
I don't know. But yeah, I have heard that there are limits, but they always reserve a spot for...
It feels like 100 people every time. There's a lot of people there. They have a pool, they have a hot tub, they have 5 play areas inside the house, 3 play areas outside. And I say areas, they're like little areas, but the pool area, there's literally beds all around the pool,
right?
Just like at Desire Pearl, whatever. So that's a big area to play. And then there's an exhibition space in the living room, which is super hot, which is a play area, but it is all exposed. And we love that.
Dance floor / exhibition bed.
Yes. So great. I love it. Oh my God. It's so funny how I love that so much. And other people hate that so much. They're just like, exhibition, blah.
We always end up playing in that kind of the front living room space that's at the other side of the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And there are chairs all around there. So it's almost always a voyeur's room.
Yeah. But I will say, even though I'm an introvert and it takes me a while to warm up to the crowd, I do like the exhibitionist style. I like being watched, but I'm not that kind of person that just walks in the door, starts stripping off my clothes and starts prancing around like I've taken over the world. Hell no. I am not that person. I blend in. I get a feel for the crowd and the people way before I'm like just bearing it all to the world in front of everybody.
But as soon as you're ready,
I'm ready.
You are ready. And we're on the bed and we are doing whatever in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And
it's
at
so
that point,
fun.
you don't even care.
No, I don't care who's watching.
The self-consciousness just kind of evaporates.
I need people's energy to keep me going because I get tired. So I'm really, that's what I am. I'm just an energy vampire. That's all it is. I'm just sucking all of your energy. The sexual vibes. Give it to me. That must be what it is.
It works for me.
So these parties always have lots of food. They even have free shots and alcohol. They always do a specialty drink, and they have energy drinks for you and plenty of water and soda. So they really do a good job. You pay a fee. They always have, to get through the door, and they always have a security guard there. And I think they have a couple security guards. One definitely at the door. He makes sure that you are on the list and you're someone that can be there. Mm-hmm. And two, he or she also ensures that when you leave, you're not drunk.
Right.
And if you, or you can drive basically, and they will take your keys if you cannot and get you an Uber if you need one. So it's nice. I appreciate that.
So we've kind of set the mood, mm-hmm. and we had heard before we'd gone to the first party, this was a while ago, that it could be a little cliquey. People kind of congregate together and they have their little cluster of fellow swingers that they've met and hung out with before. And so
I don't really like that word, as we've discussed before.
Cliques. Yeah.
But I'm always curious about it. And I'm like, okay, well, I wonder what that means. So let's go figure that out.
Our earliest experiences were people who'd known each other before and just got back together, and instead of feeling lonely and like a deer in headlights, all the scared deer cluster together in protecting each other. So it's less clique and more just, hey, these are people I know and I don't feel so awkward. And I'm at the party, I can hang out with them.
It happens. I'm laughing, but that's a real thing.
It's 100% what it is. And so anyway,
they look like me. I'm going to go over here. They're brown and furry. Ooh.
We don't like the term clique because if you look up the definition, it's small and exclusive group, and the keyword exclusive group of people that share similar values and purposely exclude others that they feel don't meet their standards.
And swingers don't do that. Swingers don't exclude other people. They're very inclusive and warm and loving individuals. So that's why I've
never, by this definition, never seen a clique at a party. Mm-mm. I have seen people who were maybe not the best at socializing,
right?
But it wasn't, we don't want to talk to you. It's just we're awkward at talking.
Or either awkward or, oh my God, I haven't seen this friend in 6 months. I need to catch up with them, right?
Yes,
that
100%.
kind of thing.
I mean, even running into people who we maybe don't gel with very well, we'll still be social with them and interact with them and say hi to them and give them a hug. Like we've had play partners show back up at parties at the same time as us. And it was like, yeah, like we wouldn't sleep with them again, but we'll say hi for sure.
Sure, absolutely. There's no need to be like weird about it.
Right.
It's just sex.
And if you do see the huddled group of deer, right, the people who circled their wagons, how do you get around them or through them, right? Like how do you bust into those groups?
Right. We just break into them and start introducing ourselves. In fact, at PCAPP, I saw a fun technique. There was a woman who broke into this group at the pool. It was probably a group of 6, and she just used her backup technique. Boop, boop.
Oh, she back in?
She backed in, used her ass. Excuse me, pardon me. Oh, hi. Is that, I'm so sorry. So she just like started bumping into this other guy, rubbing her ass all over him. And then of course that invoked laughter and conversation. And all of a sudden she was in the circle.
Right. You could use your boobs too.
That's true.
And if you're a guy, this technique doesn't work quite as well because if you're rubbing your junk on people, that might not work.
This is where women get away with a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah. We have a lot more leeway in that. That's for sure. All right. I just need to, You'll be the bumper. I'll be the bumper. I'll be the icebreaker. Clear the way.
But even if you're not going to, use that particular technique, there are plenty of others where you just kind of wade up to the group. We did this at the pool a bunch of times at PCAPP and just kind of wait for a moment in the conversation and then just chime in or say hi or go, hey, I don't think we've met, and extend your hand. And I've never had anybody look funny at me. Everybody's always stuck their hand out and go, oh, hi, I'm Mark or Mike or John or, and gentlemen, typical etiquette would be to introduce yourself to the gentleman in the crowd and then let them introduce their wives. If you go straight for the wife, some guys get a little weird about that. Just a tip.
And I feel comfortable saying hello and introducing myself right away, not just standing there awkwardly staring at them, because then you never get people's attention. You just have to do it. Boom. Right. Walk up, boom. Do it.
Just do it.
That's how it is.
And there's another really cool technique too, especially if you're new. Like if this is your first party or your first PCAPP or your first, hotel takeover or whatever, you actually have an advantage over the senior people because you can go, hey, we're new here. We're really nervous and shy. And we thought we'd introduce ourselves, and everybody's going to be fresh meat. I mean, they'll be happy to meet you.
Right. Yeah. I've never heard anyone say, oh, really? Well, get out. We don't want you here.
Right.
New people are not welcome. Oh, heck no.
Now, there are people who don't play with newbies just because there's a whole bunch of complications when you're first into the lifestyle. But no one's going to not meet you or be happy to introduce themselves to you or even introduce the group to you.
Right.
So don't be shy. Just walk in.
I will say I had one interaction at PCAPP where I busted in and I said, hey, we'd really like to talk with you guys. And I got a finger, an index finger up near the face or in between us. It wasn't pointed at me. It was pointed up, but it was at face level, right? So, not down, up, face level where I could see it. And it said, one moment. And I'm not sure if there was other words there because I was so fixated on the finger, that non-verbal gesture, that I was like, and I instantly felt like, oh my gosh. And so I was like, oh, okay. And so
I remember.
Then I hung around for about a minute, and then it felt awkward So then I stood a little further away for 2 or 3 more minutes, and then it really got awkward. And I was like, "Oh, fuck it, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
If they want to find me, they can find me. Lost opportunity where it's not going to happen.
Right.
That was really weird for me. That was unusual.
They must have been involved in some serious dialogue or
it was not that serious of a conversation. It looked like they were trying to coordinate a date, which I'm all about, trying to coordinate a date. But like, especially if it's a fuck date, then okay, yeah, got to get. But I don't know. But that was rare. I'm just saying.
Back to our house party.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the situations were exactly the same. I mean, like, we can draw parallels across a whole bunch of parties that we've been to where,
True.
You can kind of just break into a group, a cabana, you name it, right? Like, they've got the little VIP table. You can still introduce yourself to them. It's not an exclusive thing. I mean, you have to be invited to sit down, but there's no reason why you couldn't introduce yourself to them. I mean, they're there for a reason.
And we like to do our introductions as earlier in the night as possible because that's when people are usually a little more aware. You have a few drinks, you get a little tipsy or whatever, fuzzy. Right. It's just nice to just kind of do it in the beginning when people remember your name and stuff like that.
And you can make a good impression and they'll remember you.
Yeah. So at that party, into some juicy stuff, we met Mr. and Mrs. Real there.
Yes, that was our first meeting.
We've talked about them before, but we haven't talked about this. And for fuck's sake, she's so sexy. And so, of course, Sexy walks up to me and she's like, "Hi." She's all super flirty. And I'm like, "Well, hi." She's giving me the eyes. She's batting her eyes and her lips are looking fabulous and she's super sexy. And the energy was there and we were just basically making out within, I don't know, it seemed like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was almost instantaneous.
It was like, hi.
And Mr. Real was standing there with his drink and I was standing there with my drink and we were both just like, "Sup? How you doing?"
I know, just watching us.
And there's the girls just going at it like full split. It literally was 0 to 60 in like 3.4 seconds.
It was so good. So we were making out. And then all of a sudden, I don't even know how this happened. So just like the vibe, the energy, the music, maybe it was a little later in the evening, had a few drinks. I don't know.
It was later, yeah.
Actually, it was because we were on our way out the door.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. And so somehow I ended up on the couch and her face was between my legs and she was...
It happened sometimes. I slipped and she fell right in my pussy.
Yes.
Sometimes it just happens at parties.
Yes. And so here I am on the couch where everyone can see out in the open.
Exhibition room, right? Which is the dance floor / bed. And there's Phoebe with a blonde head just bobbing between her legs.
Yeah. It was so fun. Oh my God.
Oh, that's a new Halloween game. Bobbing for clitorises.
Oh, ooh, we could make little plastic molds of my clitoris and put them in a
little floaty tub, and you kind of bob for them. Hey, I just thought of a new party game.
That'd be so fun. All right, you guys, that's a good idea. You have to do it.
So at the end of this, right? So here's somebody who we'd never met before. They just walked up and introduced themselves. The next thing you know, oral sex is going on, and we end up with a play date with them later. Like, we were like totally like, here's our card. We have to get together again.
This is why sometimes I think that we're sluts, because this happened in Costa Rica too. Because I just introduced myself to a guy. I was on my way to the bathroom from the pool at the bar, and all of a sudden it went from high to full makeout session. Something about the energy or the connection, and boom, and you're in. And it's like, wow, that was hot. We need to go fuck now, because
we might actually be sluts, honey.
I think we are. Maybe we're the real true DTF people. I don't know.
We may have gone from soft swap to DTF. There you go.
I'm gonna have to
We've progressed.
reevaluate myself now.
Well, that's the thing. If the chemistry is right,
yeah,
and we've seen this on profiles before too, where people are like, we don't always fuck on the first date,
no,
but we're open to it.
Right.
And we're the same way. Like,
yeah,
you go out for drinks with a couple, and the couple's super hot, and there's just chemistry there. Like,
yeah,
there's a miracle of miracles. There's the 4-way connection. Everybody gets along.
Mm-hmm.
We're all laughing. Why not go have sex with them?
Exactly.
Because if you don't, you may not get another shot. Their babysitter may not line up.
They're going to be out of the lifestyle in 3 months. Yeah, I know.
Get it while it's hot.
Get it while it's hot. Get it while it's hot. Hot, hot, hot. Get it while it's hot. Sorry. Sorry. I was in a groove. I haven't sung in a while. I was getting my little jam on. We're hitting a new comfort level, obviously, right? We play same room, but we're getting a little more comfortable being out of that room, the same room, temporarily.
Right.
And situationally. So, for example, in the exhibitionist room, Ed was in good hands with our good friend, our single corn. And I needed some water. So I'm like, you two, and I trust her. We've known her a while, and she's not threatening, and I just love her.
Babysitting me.
She was.
I'm like, chaperoning my car.
He is in good hands. I don't have anything to worry about, right? So off I go to get some water. Do. And I wasn't worried about all these details, and I went and got some water.
But what happened while you were away?
Yes. Oh,
you ended up.
Well, actually, I am going to talk about that later.
Okay. So
I am going to talk about that later. I'm going to talk about juicy. Yes, another thing that we're not real worried about are those details when we go to an event.
Right.
Like all the what ifs that used to paralyze me. What if this happens? Right.
Yeah, you used to have it all planned out in your head. Like, we're going to get there at this time. We're going to do this. We'll make 3 rounds.
What's my contingency plan for this? Or what happens if this goes on? And oh my God, I would paralyze myself. It was horrible. And now we don't really have a plan, but we have more of this, what we call a huddle midway through a night that gives us a strategy on who we want to pounce on.
Right.
So before we used to have a plan where we're like, oh, we're going to meet and talk to 3 people, right?
One was like a risk strategy. Like, how are we going to avoid having a bad night? And now it's, we've made our rounds.
Or how to have a good night. Yeah.
Yeah. We've had a good night. We're relaxed. We've seen the entire crowd.
Who do we want to pounce on?
And we start looking around the room, and it's like, okay, well, they were kind of hot and they seemed interested in this other one. So should we go up and ask them if they want to?
Yes.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Yeah. This is where the strategy comes in. And this is where what I love about the Allures parties, these hotel parties, is you have a very limited amount of time to get in and do your thing. You have to meet people quickly. I mean, this is 6 hours for this party, 8 hours.
Yeah.
And so you paid your price, you dressed, you drove down, you got to get in, make the connections, coordinate a pre-party, a post-party, or in the playroom, and whether you want to get a crowd together or not. Usually we try to get a crowd together because we have so many options at these parties. We're like, we can't just have sex with one. We want to have sex with more. Let's maximize our...
How do we get the orgy set up?
Yeah, then you get a 3-some or 4-some or a 5-some or 6-some. So super fun. So we also, I think, attribute some of these experiences, the number of our experiences, to that familiarity for us to gauge a situation and an activity, which equals comfort for us.
Right. We faked it until we made it. Mm-hmm. So we've gotten to a point now where we tried and tried and tried, and now it's it's comfortable, and we feel comfortable walking up to a couple, waiting up to the really hot couple at the edge of the pool and opening up that conversation and like creating a situation, an opportunity, because we're not afraid to approach people. Well, we're still afraid to approach people, but we get over it and we just do it because they're not going to bite.
I know. We all have our moments though.
Yeah.
All right. So back to the story. Getting back to the story. Ed's with our single unicorn.
Doggy
single
style.
corn. Yeah. And I leave to get water. Ed's playing on the bed in the living room exhibition area. He's all, what happened to Phoebe?
Waving to the crowd.
Yeah. Phoebe, where are you? So I got distracted coordinating another fuck date. And Ed had to come find me.
Can't leave her alone for a minute.
Well, I saw this tall, dark, handsome man. And I was like, ooh, you are looking really fine. And he was chatting me up and I was chatting him up. And he's like, we need to coordinate something. I'm like, yes, we do. We could do that right now. I said, let me go get Ed.
No time like the present.
And so he's like, I said, where's your lady? And so we're having all this coordinating discussion, right? And so we decided to grab our dates and head to one of the private rooms because they didn't want to do exhibition.
Right.
And
Shy.
yeah, so.
Which is hilarious considering what we ended up doing with them, that they were shy.
I know. They were so down. It was awesome. So it was so funny when Ed came to find me. He's like,
where you been?
What's going on? I'm like, we're going to the back room and we're going to go fuck with this new couple. And Ed's like, okay.
I'll get the toys.
So, oh God, we should, do I even talk about that story in here? A
little bit.
I do. We're going to get back to that. We're going to tease you a little bit. Well, touch base back onto that. So, consent. Consent is always a bonus. Haha. All right. It's
important.
It's very important. And okay, so I wasn't too far off our subject, but the girl, I hadn't met the girl, the partner. I think it was his girlfriend. Well, it was his girlfriend. It wasn't they weren't married. And I actually did remember meeting her about earlier in the evening. And so he gathered her up and we all headed off to the back bedroom. And we're all getting in, starting to get undressed. And I'm asking, what her preferences were.
Right.
I said, do you have any preferences? Do you have any boundaries? And her boyfriend spoke for her and said, oh, she's good with anything. And I was like, what? Like, does she not speak? Because I really want to hear it from her lips.
Right.
Because anything could be anything. And I don't think this girl's down for just anything.
Well.
But.
we did get some.
I just said it. She was. She was down for the butt.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I didn't like his answer. So I looked in her eyes and I said, I got some eye contact from her and I said, anything? Like, what are you good with? What are your preferences? What are you into?
And she's like, yes. And basically like, I am
good for anything. And I'm like, wait, anything? And she's like, yes. Yeah. And I'm like, I had really good eye contact from her. So I was like, all righty. So in case it went there, who knows, right? Well, so I felt comfortable. I looked at Ed. Ed felt comfortable. I looked at everyone felt comfortable. I'm like, all right, let's go. So, I wasn't, you never really know because I wasn't sure when he answered for her. I was like, oh, is this a dom sub situation? And I wanted to be respectful.
Right.
And, we've kind of got caught in that before where someone didn't tell us they were in a dom situation.
Right. And we
actively
tried to talk to the
got
wife.
Chastised for talking to his wife, girlfriend, whatever. And he said, oh, you should only speak to me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. And so
not kinksters, don't know all the rules.
Yes. So I I did hesitate a little, but innately, I just felt really awkward about him speaking for her. So I was like, I really, when there's anything on the table, I really had to be sure. I just had to know. I had to look her in the eye. So we did, and it was fun. We had sex.
We had sex. There was a lot of fun. They were a really hot couple.
Yes.
And
you had anal.
I fucked her in the ass as that goes.
It was sexy.
It was interesting. I'm not that big on anal sex.
I know you're not, and I love it, which is why we really need to get me a butt plug, because I do like it.
We have butt plugs.
I think we got rid of that one.
Oh no, we still got it.
Okay. Well, I might want a different one. Right, there's lots of different kinds.
I don't know that you have a sparkly one. You have a blinky one.
I have a blinky one.
And we have a little blue, like, training wheels butt plug.
I need one that feels more like you. That fills me up.
Jesus, I don't know if they... yeah, they probably do. Make some...
they make different shapes.
We'll get you one.
All right.
We're on a shopping list. If you have recommendations for for Phoebe's anal pleasure, send them through.
We'll do a Patreon episode on anal play. That'll be fun.
That will be interesting.
Phoebe's new toy. So we had a very sexy time. They were super fun, and we've never seen them again.
No.
Part of it was COVID, and part of it is we haven't been back to that particular house party in a while, because we've just been doing other fun things.
Plus, they were two singles at a party, so who knows what their relationship dynamic turned out to be.
Right. May not be together anymore, but they were fun. This is why I like the
more DTF kind of stuff.
Well, yeah. Like, I don't need 5 days to get to know someone, or a month, or extensive chit-chatting and stuff like that. As long as there's a sexy vibe, as long as you know how to follow directions, as long as you're, present enough to consent to have sex, I'm down.
Right.
Because honestly, you may not be around in 6 months, even if you're married. You are boyfriend or girlfriend in lifestyle. That's fine.
Sure.
You're testing out the waters. That's great. Let's have a fun experience. You don't have to be married. You don't have to be in a long-term relationship.
Right.
And honestly.
And this is all the more reason why, when you go to an event and you see groups of people, to go in and introduce yourself.
Yeah.
To bust into those.
Because you may never see them again.
Yeah, because that group may not exist anymore, or they stop going to that party.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't make that connection, and you don't exchange numbers, and you don't, or hoe cards with your numbers on it, then that's a lost opportunity, and you may never get it back. There were, some of our really early, like the first year that we were in the lifestyle, we played with a bunch of couples that were in those kind of like group orgy, group oral kind of situations. Never seen them again.
No,
never seen them
again. I still remember them, like Marianne and.
Oh, I know. We didn't have a name for him. We only had a name for her because she was cute, and he was just a penis.
Oh,
sorry. But that's true.
He was attractive. I don't know why I never gave him a name.
We just didn't.
I was just focused on her.
Super cute.
She was so cute.
She was very cute. But we've had that situation before. There was a couple, we were at another play party. There was a couple from San Francisco that had kind of laid down next to us, and we'd all kind of played parallel play.
And we didn't even know their names till after.
Till afterwards. We introduced ourselves.
And we all
hey,
laughed.
we're from San Francisco. Ha, ha, ha.
It was so funny.
Never seen them again.
No.
So, like, you have to carpe diem, right? You have to seize the day.
Yes.
And, you're at Podcast-a-Palooza, and you're in a pool with a bunch of people who are from all over the country or the world.
Yeah.
If you don't go up and introduce yourself to them, you won't have made that connection. We made great connections with Canadian people.
Oh, I know.
Who we're never going to run into in Sacramento. I mean, we might, but the odds are not in our favor.
No.
But we,
could have had sex with a Canadian.
We could have. We just didn't end up having it. But we did have some fun fireball with some Canadians.
We did. Oh my God, that was hilarious. I sniffed
Sassy
it.
Molassie.
So yeah, as you could tell, this party had a nice mix of open group exhibition play and private room play. And I like the exhibition play, but I will admit I don't get to watch Ed as much because there's just too much going on. You really have to get good at training your brain to take in a lot of detail.
Yeah, it's very distracting.
It's distracting. It can be overwhelming. But once you get used to seeing it, it's pretty hot. That more one-on-one couple, interaction reduces that sensory input, allows you some more focus. And as far as single couple interactions, I kind of feel like we're leaning more towards that direction, but I don't know. I mean, it used to be kind of a no-go zone. So I like those more, but I don't